You own the interview. You go in knowing that you have something that the company wants. That's an interesting way of looking at it. We all understand that they have something that you need and want, but think of it a little bit differently. The reason you're in that interview is because you have something that they want. There are three major areas that you want to concentrate on when preparing for an interview. Number one, be confident. How do you be confident? Be prepared for the interview.
I prepare for an interview by first making sure I have a really good grasp on the company itself.
You want to get on the internet, you want to look at their website, you want to know exactly what it is that they do, you want to know how long they've been around.
Why would you want to work there? Know something about it and let them know that you know a little bit about it.
When you go into a company, they're going to ask you, what do you know about us? And you want to tell them, something. When they started, when was it founded, what do they do, what do we help people with? I mean, if you know those questions, it shows interest and it impresses them.
Understand who you're going to be interviewing with.
If I'm given the people who are going to be interviewing me, I usually try to do some research on them, whether it be if I can find them on LinkedIn or anywhere related to the company, just to see their role.
Another thing I've done, and I know some of my friends have done to prepare for interviews, is literally Googling, common interview questions. And it sounds silly, but you'd be surprised how often those interview questions do pop up.
Being as authentic as you possibly can is probably the best policy. Don't try to make things up that aren't real.
Practicing isn't bad, so you're not so nervous and questions are getting fired at you and you're all jumbled. Definitely practicing.
Understand whether this is going to be a panel interview. Understand whether this is going to be individual, multiple interviews. Understand whether you may be taking a test or not. Being prepared will allow you to relax. Number two is storytelling. Storytelling related to your resume.
Just really prepping myself that I know my background.
What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? What are my failures? What are my best qualities? And sometimes the failures are the hardest ones to come up with, but you want to kind of spin it that, you know what, this is one of my weaknesses, but I know this is my weakness, and because of that, I do X, Y, and Z to make that better.
It's really important that the story not be long. Just be, 20 to 30 seconds explaining what you did and how you accomplished it. Usually how that is driven is by the interviewer's questions. So again, you want to be prepared with a story for everything that you list in your resume. If you don't have a story, then it doesn't belong in your resume. Finally, it's very important that you have questions prepared for your interviewer. These questions, and a good interviewer will ask you if you have questions, will allow you to get even more information about the company, about the position.
You definitely want to make sure that you're clear about the duties and the responsibilities of the position.
Show an interest in the company, because that to them shows that you're really interested in the job.
I definitely don't suggest getting into salary or things of that nature, because you definitely don't want to jump the gun and go a few steps too far. You want to kind of take it one step at a time.
Without question, the most important question, and if you don't ask any other questions, is what are the next steps?
If you walk out of there and then you're wondering what next steps are, the employer is kind of looking at you and saying, this person just left here and they have no clue. You want to close it at that point. You need that closure to say, okay, can you tell me what next steps will be?
You control this part of the interview process. You need contact information, not just for the 24-hour thank you email that we all know you're going to send, but you need contact information and what these people do and how they will be part of the process in hiring. You will need to know when would be a comfortable time to get in touch with them if they don't get in touch with you. Is it 3 days? Is it 5 days? Is it 10 working days? Understand a company, and the larger they are, need time to process all of your information. So give them the time. Getting to them too quickly can be disastrous.